So rate of the reaction or speed of the reaction we can measure by different ways. We can measure the volume of the gas given off as we discussed, or there is also another way, because some of the reaction solid is formed. So what we can do, and we call these type of reaction when we mix solutions and a solid is formed, we call that as a precipitation. So we can also use this technique to measure the speed or rate of the reaction. How we use the technique to measure the speed or the rate of the reaction? We first place a cross, like mark a cross on the paper, and then and top of this paper we place a beaker. And after placing this beaker, what we do, we add the solutions. So the moment we add the solution, if a solid is formed, we call this reaction as precipitation reaction. When we mix two or more solutions and a solid is formed, we call that as PPT. So when two solutions are mixed in a beaker, a solid is formed. So when this solid is formed, what we'll observe the cross will disappear. So there was a cross which is placed, as you can see. So why this cross disappear? Because when we mix the two solutions, the solid is formed, and that solid does not allow the light to pass through. So as this solid which is formed during a chemical reaction does not allow the light to pass through, so when we look from the top, after some time it appears that the cross has disappeared. And how we can identify the rate? We can compare the time to work out the rate. Like if the cross take the shortest time, it means the rate is faster. Like if we did two experiment A, the cross will disappear in 10 seconds. Wherein experiment B, the cross took 30 seconds to disappear. Which reaction is faster, A or B? In the first reaction, reaction A, the cross disappeared in 10 seconds. So because the cross take a shortest time to disappear, it means the reaction is, this is faster and this one is comparatively slower. So using this technique, we can identify the rate or the speed of the reaction. So, and this is only valid when a solid is formed or the solution turned cloudy. So the common reaction which we use for this, that is when sodium thiosulfate is mixed with hydrochloric acid. So when sodium thiosulfate is mixed with hydrochloric acid, as a result, when they react, what it forms? It forms sodium chloride, the product. You have to learn these equations specifically for this reaction. Plus sulfur plus sulfur dioxide plus water is there as a product as well. So basically what happened when we write the states here or the appearance, sodium thiosulfate, it is a colorless solution. It does not have any color. Hydrochloric acid, it is also a colorless. Sodium chloride salt solution is also a colorless. Sulfur, when sulfur is formed, it will make the solution cloudy. Sulfur is a solid here. It's a yellow solid. Sulfur dioxide, it's a gas, and water is a colorless liquid. So what happened if we take a container and first we fill this container with HCl? It's up to us, like we can add sodium thiosulfate first and then HCl. The formulas, I will write the formulas. Sodium thiosulfate formula is Na2S2O3. That's sodium thiosulfate. Mixed with HCl, hydrochloric acid. This result in a formation of sodium chloride NaCl plus sulfur dioxide plus water. So this is HCl, and what we did, we placed this on the paper. So we place this on the paper, and on the paper we mark a cross. Now what will happen? First we have HCl. Now to this HCl, what we add? We add sodium thiosulfate. Na2S2O3, that's sodium thiosulfate. So the moment we mix them, both are colorless. I'm using different colors to explain the idea, but both are colorless solution. So when these solutions are mixed with each other, then they start to react. So hydrochloric particles, acid particle try to react with sodium thiosulfate. And as they try to react, or as they react with each other, what it will form? Sodium chloride will be there. It will be their colorless solution. But when it forms sulfur, so due to the presence of formation of the sulfur, if we are looking from the top, because the sulfur is a solid, so solid does not allow the light to pass through. So what it appeared for us, it appeared that the cross has disappeared. And at what time we will start the timer or a stopwatch? The moment we mix the two solutions, the point when we mix the two solutions, we'll start the timer. And the moment we stop, like the cross disappear, we will stop the timer. And to identify the rate, how we can say what is the rate? The one which take the shortest time, it means it will have the fastest rate. Is it clear, this experiment, how we can use sodium thiosulfate and hydrochloric acid to work out the speed or the rate of reaction? So as you can see here in this animated image, first we have HCl and then we add sodium thiosulfate. Like, or first we have sodium thiosulfate, then we add HCl. Both are colorless, we don't see anything. But after some time, when we mix the two solutions, we'll look from the top. Because a sulfur start to form, the solution will turn cloudy. And as the solution turns cloudy, the cross will disappear, and we can identify that the rate of the reaction, we can work out when the reaction completed and compare the rate or the speed of the reaction by the time it takes for the cross to disappear. Now some questions related to this topic. As you can see, sodium thiosulfate, reacted with hydrochloric acid, gives sodium chloride, sulfur, and it form a sulfur solid which make a solution cloudy, and the cross will disappear. So this was about topic 7.2. So now we'll do some questions related to the topic. A quick revision first and then we'll move on to questions. So topic 7.2 is about rate or speed of reaction, means how fast the reaction proceeds. We call that as a rate. It can be measured by amount of reactant used divided by time, or amount of product formed divided by time. Then we can measure the rate or speed by measuring the volume of a gas, or we can also work out the time the cross will take to disappear. And the factors which affect the rate, that is concentration, temperature, surface area, and the pressure is only valid for gases. Then the photochemical reaction, the reaction which is affected by light, we call that as photochemical reaction. Now some questions related to the topic. So I want everyone to participate. So as you can see on your screen, the questions related to rate or speed of the reaction. Liquid X react with solid Y to form a gas. So whenever a gas is given off, we can either measure the volume of the gas, or we can allow the gas to escape, so we can measure the change in amount of the content in the flask, the change in mass of content of the flask. Which two diagrams shows a suitable method for investigating the rate of reaction? So which two diagrams suitable? So you have to check, like example, when we check one, why one is wrong? Because there is a cotton wool. So some of the gas will escape and some of the gas will enter the syringe. So one cannot be an answer. When we check two, there is a cotton wool, so gas can pass through the cotton wool. So the mass of the content in the flask will decrease. So we can measure the rate by change in mass divided by time. What about this three? There is a stopper. So stopper, gas is given out, but the stopper does not allow the gas to escape. So there will be no change in the mass. If no change in the mass, we cannot measure the rate or the speed of reaction. And at 4, what happened? When a reaction occurs, a gas is given off. So we measure the volume of the gas. So we can measure the volume of the gas with respect to time. That will give us the rate. Why not 3? Because as you see 3, a reaction occur, a gas is given off. But because there is a stopper, so the gas is still in the flask. So gas is not able to escape the flask. If the gas does not escape, so the mass of the content in the flask will not change. So if the mass of the content in the flask does not change, so we cannot measure the rate of the reaction. Because whenever a gas is given off, there are two ways to measure the rate or the speed of reaction. Number one, you can measure the volume of the gas given off, or you allow, like either you collect the gas or either you allow the gas to escape. If you want the gas to escape, you should place a stopper here. If you don't want the gas to escape, then you place a stopper. So why the third one was not correct? Because in that one they place a stopper, so the gas will not escape, gas will remain there in the flask. That's why the mass will not change, so we cannot measure by using 1 and 3. So 2 and 4 can be used only. That's why D is the right answer. Is it clear? If we put a cotton wool this cotton wool allow, as they mentioned, a gas is given off. So what happened? This reaction produces a gas and this gas is going out. So when the gas is leaving the content, so as the gas will leave the content, like originally it is 44.02, then it might become 43.09. So the mass will change because the gas is released. So we can measure the change in the mass divided by time, we'll get the rate. Here we'll measure the change in the volume divided by time, we'll get the rate. But in this one, we cannot use 1 and 3. Yes, Abdullah?
But we will let the air escape. How will the mass increase? Mass will remain the
Mass will
same.
not, no, mass will not increase, Abdullah, mass will decrease. Like this is 44.02 in the beginning. Now when the reaction occur, a gas is given off. So as it is giving out the gas particles are escaping. So as the gas particles escape, what happened to the mass? It will decrease. Like example, it will become 43.09. So by changing the mass, change in the mass, the difference in the mass divided by time, we can measure the rate of the reaction. Is it clear, Abdullah?
Yes, sir, clear.
But why this is not suitable? When the gas is given off, some of the gas particle will be collected in the gas syringe, but some of the particle will escape. So we don't know exactly what volume of the gas is given off. That's why it is not a suitable one. This one, what happened? When the gas is given off, but that gas cannot escape as there's a stopper. So mass will not change. And in this one, why it is suitable? When the gas is given off, so the gas particle will move in the gas syringe, so we can measure the change in the volume divided by time to measure the rate or speed of reaction. Question 2. Which statements explain why increasing the temperature increases the rate? Temperature does not have any effect on the activation energy, only catalysts alter the activation energy. So when we check, yeah, that's right, 1 and 2, heat make the molecule move faster, that's correct. Heat make the molecule collide, that is also right. An increase in temperature lower the activation energy is only affected by catalyst. If they say catalyst was used, then the activation energy will be changed. Question 3. Which row describe how energy of the collision between the particle changes when the concentration and temperature are increased? Like if we increase the concentration, energy of the collision, energy means the speed at which the particles are moving. If we increase the concentration, speed of the particle changes. If we increase the concentration, you have to deal it separately. Actually, the question is, if what happened if we increase the concentration, does the energy of the particle changes? No. Like example, if we have 3 particles and we have 5 particles in the same space, so energy at which they are moving, that is not affected by concentration. The energy is affected by temperature. So the one which will have high temperature will have more energy. The concentration does not have any relation with the speed of the particle. So speed of the particle will not change, or energy of the particle will not change with concentration. But when we increase the temperature, so when we increase the temperature, the energy of the particle, the speed or energy of the collision between the particle will also increase. Concentration effect rate. How concentration effect rate? Because high concentration means more collision. When we have high concentration, it means there are more collision. but speed of the collision will be same. Like example, if I say this was at 30 degrees centigrade, this is also at 30. So when they're colliding, they will collide with the same speed. Like this was having 10 meter per second, this will also have 10 meter per second. But the number of the collision at high concentration will be more as compared to a low concentration. Another question, which row explain why increased temperature increase the rate of reaction? Like when we increase the temperature, the particle collide more often, like frequently. That's true. And they will have more energy. That is also true. So A is the right answer. When sulfur is heated, when we heat a sulfur, it undergo a dash change and it melts. So sulfur melted. Further heating, sulfur undergo a dash to form sulfur dioxide. First what happens? Sulfur is melted. The first part, the sulfur is melted. Like in the beginning, you was having a sulfur. There's a sulfur, you supply heat energy, the sulfur is melted. So when sulfur is melted, but it is still sulfur, like a solid sulfur convert into a liquid sulfur, what we call this? When only the state changes, no new substance form, we call that as a physical change. But then what happened? The sulfur undergo a reaction to form sulfur dioxide. So basically, sulfur reacted with oxygen, sulfur mixed with oxygen to form a new substance, which is sulfur dioxide. So this is when new substance is formed, that's called a chemical. So first is a physical change, the second one is a chemical change. So C is the right answer. When new substance form, it's a chemical change. No new substance form, we call that as a physical change. The student was investigating the rate of reaction between the marble chips and dilute acid. Which change will slow down the rate of reaction, like decreases the rate of reaction? We don't want to increase, we want to decrease the rate of the reaction. The rate of the reaction is directly proportional to temperature, directly proportional to concentration, directly proportional to surface area. So if we want to decrease the rate, so we should decrease the temperature, we should decrease the concentration, and we should decrease the surface area. If the same question was there, particle size, so rate is inverse, because surface area and particle size are different thing. If surface area is small, particle size is larger. Like example, for lumps and powder, so for lumps we say it is having a small surface area, but it is having a large particle size. And for powder, we say it is having a large surface area, or it is having a small particle size. So we should decrease all of them to decrease the rate. A gas is produced when calcium carbonate is heated. Like a calcium carbonate is solid. When we supply heat energy, it produces a gas. It chemically changes. What we call this change? Because when calcium carbonate is heated, it will produce calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So what is this change, physical or chemical? So because the new substance is formed, the gas which is given off when calcium carbonate is heated, it is carbon dioxide. That's why we call that as a chemical change. Why we don't say exothermic? Because it is, we are supplying heat energy, it's not exo, it is endo. It cannot be physical. Why? Because it is producing a gas, it's like it's forming a new substance, and this is not the method of separation. So A is the right answer. Question 8. Which changes are physical? Melting of ice to form a water. So when ice melt to form water, there is no new substance formed. We call that as a physical change. Burning of hydrogen to form water. Hydrogen form water. So new substances form. It's a chemical change. Sodium, adding sodium to water when sodium mixed or reacted with water. That's also a chemical change. Boiling water to form steam. So that is the physical change. So 1 and 4 or B is the right answer. In this question, rate of a reaction between magnesium and excess of hydrochloric acid was measured. So what happened when magnesium react with hydrochloric acid? When metal react with acid, it gives off gas. And when it gives off gas, what will happen? The mass will decrease. So C and D cannot be an answer. Why C and D cannot be an answer? Because in C and D, the mass is increasing, but when metal react with acid, the mass decreases. Two experiments were performed. Both experiment we use 0.1 milligram, 0.1 gram of magnesium. In experiment 1, acid was less concentrated than experiment 2. So experiment 1 less concentrated means experiment 1 should be slower. Sorry. Experiment 1 should be slower and experiment 2 should be fast. So when we check, either A or B can be an answer, but which experiment is fast? Experiment 1 is less concentrated, so experiment 1 is slower and experiment 2 is faster. So when we check this, that for 1, the change in the mass is smaller as compared to that of 2. That's why A is the right answer. Is it clear, this question? Look, in the question, the rate of the reaction between magnesium and acid was followed by measuring the mass of magnesium present at regular interval. So we are measuring a mass of magnesium at regular interval, time to time. Because magnesium is reacting with acid, so what should happen to the mass of the magnesium? So if the magnesium is reacting with acid, what should happen to the mass of the magnesium? The mass of magnesium should decrease. That is one thing. So when we sketch a graph, how the graph should appear? In the beginning, we should have more magnesium. In the beginning, we should have more magnesium, and with the passage of the time, the mass of the magnesium should decrease. But they said we used to experiment. Experiment 1, In experiment 1, the reaction was, the acid was less concentrated. So we used to experiment. Experiment 1, it is less concentrated acid. So if it is less concentrated acid, means it will have a slower reaction. Experiment 2, we use more concentrated acid. If you use more concentrated acid, it means the reaction will be faster. So if we draw the two graphs, to show a change in mass, so which reaction is fast? The black or the red? In which one the mass changes faster or at a greater rate? So the one which is below, you can see the change in mass is much faster as compared to the one above. So this is a fast reaction. This one is a slow reaction. So same thing they ask in this question, that we use in experiment 1 we use less concentrated acid than compared to experiment 2. So experiment 2 should be faster, or the change in the mass of magnesium should be more as compared to experiment 1. Like if I write a number here, you will understand from the number, like say this is 5, 10, 20, or 5, 10, 15, 20, and write the number 1, 2, 3. So after 1 minute, for experiment 1, the mass is 18 or 15. But for experiment 2, the mass is 10. So it means experiment 2, the mass changes more than experiment 1, or experiment 2 is much faster than experiment 1. Is it clear discussion? C and D cannot be, because in C and D the mass is increasing, but in practical the mass has decreased. Is it clear now? Which statement explain why a coal dust form an explosive mixture in air? Like example, in a coal mine, the fine particles of the coal, they can easily catch fire. So what is the reason why the fine particles of the coal dust can easily catch fire, can easily react? So which statement explain why the coal dust form an explosive mixture? Like it can burn easily, it can react faster. So when we check the option coal dust catalyze, it's not a catalyst. Coal dust has a large surface area because particles of the coal dust are very fine particles. When the particles are fine, they will have large surface area, so they can easily react with oxygen, and it can have an explosive reaction or explosive mixture. That's why B is the right answer. Is it clear? Question 10. That why a coal does form an explosive mixture or it can catch fire easily, because the coal dust is having a very small particle, so they have large area and it can burn easily. Zinc granules are reacted with acid. The volume of hydrogen given off is measured. The results are shown. Label experiment 1. The result for second experiments are also shown. So experiment 1 is fast and experiment 2 is slow. Which change to the condition was made in experiment 2? Like what we did in experiment 2 so that the reaction slow down. The concentration of hydrochloric acid decrease. If we decrease the concentration, the rate will decrease. So that's why A is the right answer. The size of zinc granule decrease. If we decrease the size of the zinc granule, the surface area increase, so the rate should also increase. The surface area of zinc granule increase. If its surface area increase, the reaction should, like experiment 2, should be faster. But experiment 2 is slower. It means we decrease the area. The temperature increase. So if we increase the temperature, the reaction should be faster. But because the reaction is slower, so it means we reduces the concentration. That's why A is the right answer. So these are some questions related to topic rate of the reaction. The next session will discuss more questions related to the topic. Any question or doubt related to the class today? So I'll end the session and share this with you.